Cole was diagnosed with ADHD back in 2013.
I was experiencing a lot of anxiety. It would keep me up at night. I would experience a lot of just lack of focus. It would be really difficult for me to be able to pay attention to what my coaches in volleyball were saying and what my teachers were saying.
So that was a look at two patients, each with their own different stories and struggles.
To find relief from their suffering, they all went to Houston Health and Wellness. Here to tell us how these patients are doing today are Dr. Michael Rorick and his beautiful wife, Dodie.
Hi guys, how are you? That caught you off guard. So it's a rather serious topic, but I think the good news is there's a way to overcome some of these issues. Let's start with Tisha. So Tisha's son was going through some pretty serious issues that were affecting his day-to-day life, his grades in school. I mean, what was her son like when he first came to you guys?
He was withdrawn. There wasn't a lot of interaction. He was, you know, I wondered if he might also be dealing with depression, which I'm sure he was at the time. So when we took a look and we started working backwards through that, figuring out where the issues are, and then started approaching them from that standpoint to get the body to do what it needs to do, things turned around for him. His mother was just elated.
Well, but so he had been diagnosed then with ADHD. They had, I understand, they had visited multiple doctors, but they weren't finding any results that were working.
Right, so Tisha, the mom, had really, you know, there was a really tearful first call. You know, she was kind of at the end of her road. They had been to psychiatrist and talk therapist and every kind of doctor they could try, and tried all kinds of medications and things and just couldn't get resolved. So it's kind of one of the things that we do differently is that, you know, we have some patients that come to us already on medication, some that don't, and either way is fine with us because we work alongside whatever they're currently doing naturally to help them meet their goals.
We have another piece of video that I want to run right now, sort of describing how Tisha's son is today. Let's roll the clip.
I really saw an improvement immediately within a matter of days. His focus was there, his level of anxiety had changed. He seemed to be more at ease in everything that he was doing. Cole, he hated going to the doctor. I mean, he really did. Now he looks forward to it. I'm just so happy we took the leap of faith and we did it because I don't think I could have handled it. I mean, it was like, we got to do something or he's going to military school because I can't handle it, you know? And he was like, Mom, I don't want to go to military school. I was like, well, dude, you got to help me here because you're driving me insane, you know? And now military school's off the table.
Wow.
That's
amazing.
amazing.
Looks forward to going to the doctor?
I mean, who really looks forward to going to that? Unless you got to see a baby, that might be like your baby kid, we're pregnant. But you know, with that, just as frustrating for the mom, you forget that the son was probably affected so much by it. So seriously, that was another stressor for her. So for her to come in and her son is probably smiling and feeling so great that his life was changed for the good. And finally, there was an answer. There was a result that they were hoping for. That's awesome.
It was really nice to see that. And one of the funny things that she told me was that she was able to watch him on the football field. And he hits really hard now.
How were you guys able to address the problem?
Yeah.
It's a multi-prong approach, and you've heard me say this before, Derek. It's like a three-legged stool. There's always a mental component, obviously. There's always a biochemical component, and there's a physical component. All three of those need to be addressed. We don't know which one is the starting point, but if you don't address all three, you're not going to achieve health.
At the top of this segment, one of the girls we saw in the video, she was the teenage girl, Colette. She was experiencing such extreme anxiety that she couldn't sleep at night. And this is tough. I mean, there's already so much pressure when you're a teenager, trying to play volleyball, trying to be involved in a sport. So describe her a little bit more in detail when you first met.
Well, I think you hit the nail on the head, is that I think that people sometimes, whether it's adults or kids, just don't realize how much pressure and stress and stimulation that is involved in today's society and times. And so it really was just something that was just becoming, in her own words, kind of debilitating. It was just something that went on all the time. So now she's thrilled because everything is easier. You know, she gets to enjoy it and have fun. Like, I mean, she's just on cloud 9. But she was, you know, in this case, they were really trying to avoid medications at all costs. chaos.
Right. What you want for your kids. You want to avoid those things. If you don't have to, try to do an alternative to that.
Right.
So let's roll a bit of video of Colette and how she's feeling today now that some of this anxiety has gone away.
I've noticed that my test grades are going up significantly. It's insane. Like, I would go from making low B's in algebra to now I'm in geometry and I have like a 98, and my volleyball has gotten so much better already, and it's great. It's such a nice environment here. It doesn't feel like a traditional doctor's office where everybody is so cold. It's like you really get to know the patients here, and I appreciate that. It's really fun. I look forward to coming a few times a week.
You can just tell by the look on her face that she's smiling. She feels, again, being a teenager is so hard that you should be focusing on bettering your game and doing your homework, not all these other things. Hey, listen, so you guys have a special offer for Houston Life viewers, and I think it's kind of remarkable that for $197, someone can get a full hour with you, Dr. Rourke. Essentially, I mean, that seems sort of unheard of. I get like 2 seconds with my doctor.
Exactly.
Well, that's the difference in my practice and my philosophy is I can't know you in 2 minutes. I can make a diagnosis, but what am I going to do with that?
Yeah.
So I make sure that you fill out a very thorough form, get it back to me 24 hours prior to, and let me go through it. And then I can sit down and maximize that hour and make sure that I understand everything that you're trying to tell me. And I never get out of here under an hour.
Well, that's amazing. It really is amazing. So whether it's ADHD or anxiety, there are all kinds of things people are faced with. They can call you, or as a reminder, you can book that full 1-hour consultation for just $197. The number is 281-496-3355, or you can visit their website, stopyoursuffering.com. So Dr. Rourke, Dodie, thank you so much for stopping by.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you guys.
See you again.
Hey, man. Good seeing you.
Good seeing you.
Take care of yourself.
Alrighty.
Ready to get out?
And why don't we check in with meteorologist Eric Brait to see what the forecast looks like right now. Eric?